Okay, I appreciate everybody's attendance here this morning. At this time, NASCAR President Mike Helton has some news he would like to share.
Yeah, during the truck race last night, we had an incident between the 18 and the 33 trucks that resulted in NASCAR parking the 18 truck for the balance of the event. That's done under Section 912 of the rule book. That gives NASCAR the authority to react during a race weekend. And following the event and after a good deal of conversation and discussion, NASCAR has decided to maintain that parked position on the driver of the 18 truck for the balance of the weekend. So basically what that means is Kyle Busch will not be participating today or tomorrow in the NASCAR event here in Texas.
Okay, we've got time for just a few questions. We'll get to a few questions. Let's start back here in the back with Dave Rodman. Who's got the microphone? State your name and who you're with.
Yeah, Mike, Dave Rodman with NASCAR.com. I apologize for being put in a position to play in 20 questions, but can you tell me what time the meeting was held this morning, where it was held, who attended it, please?
Yeah, the meeting was held at our hauler 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. JD, Coach Gibbs, and Kyle Busch were in attendance along with several NASCAR officials.
Let's go Lee, Kenny, and then Claire, and then probably take maybe one or two more. That's it.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. In the era of boys have added, what were the specific reasons behind your decision to park Kyle as opposed to just letting boys have at it?
Yeah, the responsibility that over the past 2 or 3 seasons we've given back to the drivers came, I think, with a very clear understanding that there could be a line that got crossed. And as annoying as the comments that I've made personally in the past about we'll know it when we see it might have been, we saw it last night. And obviously after the event, a lot of folks put their heads together to decide what, if anything, we would do. And then what I'm telling you today is our reaction.
Kenny
Bruce, SceneDaily.com. Mike, you guys have, in the past, you've kind of let things that happened in one series stay in that series. It didn't cross over. Not to say you haven't ever done it, but typically that's the way you all have reacted. What was the reasoning behind doing what you did this weekend, since that wasn't a truck series race, and not saying, look, that issue is dealt with for that, and we're not going to let it affect nationwide or Cup or anything like that?
Yeah, Kenny, I think we've had occurrences rare, like you said, in the past where an incident would carry over for the balance of the event. Kevin Harvick in Martinsville from a truck race that involved the Cup race. Robbie Gordon in a Montreal nationwide race that involved a Pocono Cup race. So, albeit very rare, we do have incidents that have carried over for the balance of the weekend, just like this one has. But they're rare.
Claire
B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. How, in your mind, serious is this situation for NASCAR to take this move? And what kind of conversations did you have with Kyle, with Joe Gibbs Racing, their sponsor implications? I mean, there's a big picture here. And how grave is this in your mind to be able that you had gone to this level?
Well, I think the volume of occurrences or reactions like I'm talking about this morning, the rarity of those times that we make a step like this speak to the uniqueness and the severity of the topic. We understand the ramifications of the ripple effect of us making this type of a move, but we also take our responsibility very serious as to maintaining control of the event in all the garages, and so it's a balance there that we ultimately have to make a decision. And at the end of the day, we're the ones that have to make that decision and go on.
Terry Blunt.
Mike, will there be any other possible penalties to Kyle, say monetary, probation, anything else besides what's going on for this weekend? And
yeah, under 912, it's just an event reaction. We'll have to wait and see what Monday morning brings, but right now it deals with the balance of this weekend.
Do you feel like this will send a message, on the whole have at it situation that, there is a point where we're going to take severe action and maybe this will calm things down a little bit?
I don't know. I think the garage areas, the drivers, the team owners, the crew members understand the difference between being responsible and crossing the line. I honestly believe that they understand the difference, but we'll have to wait and see what the opinions, how the opinions react to this.
We're going to take 3 more questions. Reed, Dustin, and then finish with Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Reed. Raise your hand.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Mike, I saw Richard Childress in the hauler this morning as well. Did the Childress Harvick camp also get admonished, basically not to escalate this feud? And second, did the fact that what Kyle did last night have an effect on the championship? Did that influence the decision today as well?
Yeah, to the first part, our reaction was specifically around the driver of the 18 truck, and that was the extent of our. Obviously, when an occurrence occurs at a racetrack, the NASCAR official community in general works to minimize the ripple effect of what actually might have happened and what could happen afterwards during the event last night, or anyone going forward for that matter. The implication of the 33 truck being in the points battle in the Camping World Truck Series probably had a small impact on the reaction, but I think the bulk of the action in its entirety and all the circumstances attached to it just accumulated to lead us to the decision we made.
Dustin, and then we'll end with Bob. Go ahead.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers. Mike, a couple things. When you say, I know you said when you see it, you'll know it. Can you give a better clarification? Because I think, one, some fans will look back at the Carl Edwards Keselowski thing and say there wasn't anything there. They're done. What more did you see in this case with this situation? What was so different? And the accumulation of things that Kyle had been involved with this season, did that play a factor? Part of the decision-making process to park him?
Yeah, I would answer that 2 ways. It's natural in our industry, in our sport, and for NASCAR's regulatory responsibilities to watch the evolution of a policy or procedure and learn from it and possibly react differently. Although I would remind you, in the incident with Carl Edwards and Keselowski in Atlanta, there was a reaction from us. There was points and there was money involved in that reaction. So there was some sort of reaction. There's been a lot of other occurrences that we felt like were more in tune with the responsibility we given to drivers along the way. But there are lines that have been crossed. The 18 and the 29 in Darlington got a reaction from us. Today is the most severe reaction under these circumstances, but that we felt like all the circumstances came together to warrant the reaction that we're talking about this morning. The question about the accumulation of incidents around the driver leading to this decision-making process, I won't sit here and tell you that it's not an influence, but it's not an overriding influence. The reaction we're talking about today came more specifically from the set of circumstances that unfolded last night in the single event.
Final question, Bob. Right there in front of you, sir.
Bob Pockris, SceneDaily.com. I mean, most of the time I assume you refrain from suspending people because you know that fans come to watch drivers, and Kyle Busch being a very popular driver and to some fans. How much did you weigh that in your consideration, and what did you feel was the overriding factor in suspending him?
Yeah, I would sit here and tell you that any violation that we have to react to, we consider the ripple effect of our reaction. Every incident that we have to react to, whether it's in an inspection, something that's happened on the racetrack, or what have you, that's not our mission. But it is our responsibility as a regulatory group that manages the sport, and we certainly take that very serious. So the circumstances that we saw last night on the racetrack, we didn't take lightly what we saw. We didn't take lightly the necessity or responsibility for us to react to it. We take those responsibilities very serious, but more often than not, our responsibility is to officiate the sport, inspect the hardware that's involved in the sport in a manner that everybody feels like they're on an equal and level playing field. That's the sports regulatory's responsibility. On occasion, you have an incident that requires you to take the additional step, like we're talking about this morning, and it's not an easy step to take. It's not something we enjoy doing. It's not an action that we would want to do, but we do take our responsibility to maintain control of the garage areas and the unfolding of the events very seriously, which led us to this action.
Mike, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.